Texas. Valley Sports Southwest. The heart of the fan.
Last week in Ottawa, the Stars and Senators collided for their first of two early season showdowns. Things started well enough for Dallas, getting on the board quickly. But the home side promptly answered, then rode a big night on the power play and held off a would-be comeback to squeeze out a narrow victory. Tonight, the setting shifts to Texas for the final get-together this season, as the Stars go looking for a little payback, this time in their backyard. A dozen days and some 1,700 miles removed from the capital of Canada, the Stars and Senators are ready to run it back here in Dallas on Stars Hockey, presented by Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant. It's the second straight home game for the Stars before they head back north next week, while the Sens are beginning a 3-game tour through the Central Division. Hi there, everybody, and welcome to Dallas Stars Hockey alongside Daryl Ray. I'm Josh Bogorod. Last time out for the Stars, it was their best game of the season, but one where they only picked up one of a possible 2 points because Razor, despite how well they played, they're still battling those offensive demons. It was another night where they were stuck on 2, and they find themselves looking for that breakthrough performance.
Yeah, the struggle is real for them right now. You know, they've only scored 13 goals so far this season in their 7 games. However, the outlier to all that is defenseman Miro Heiskanen, who is averaging a point a game for this crew. He comes into play tonight, tied for 4th in NHL defenseman scoring, in behind Yossi Pionk and Victor Hedman. I mean, he's playing close to 30 minutes a night, although that's been reduced a little bit the last couple of games. The goals, an overtime dart winner when the season opened in New York against the Rangers, and then a third period game-tying power play goal in the win over the LA Kings. His assists have been fire starter variety. He has as many helpers as the rest of the defense corps combined. But it's his fabulous 3-zone, 2-way play that has dominated most. You know, he'll lead the attack one way, and then he'll scamper back to break things up going the other. It's high time that other guys join Miro, though. He can't do it all by himself.
Stars and Senators met just under 2 weeks ago up north, and the Sens, since beating the Stars, have lost the last 3 games. The most recent one, it was a wild affair. They fell 7-5 on Monday to Washington. Even though they're a team that's still struggling to find wins, there's some pieces there, Razor, that showcase just why they're excited about that rebuild.
Yeah, they're going through some growing pains. Obviously, they're so young, but their collection of talent is excellent. And the best example of that might be their top line, starting with Brady Tkachuk. Likely their future captain. Josh Norris, the center iceman, comes in with goals in back-to-back games. Drake Batherson just notched his first ever hat trick, or had he, in that wild affair against the Washington Capitals. They're all 23 and under. Tkachuk was late to sign, missed the game against the Stars in the Canadian capital city. Seems to be trying to make up for lost time, though. Played only 3 of the first 6 games, yet he leads them in hits and in penalty minutes. Truculence and bargy play is a family tradition for the Tkachuks. Last season, he led the Sens in scoring and in penalty minutes, finished with the second most shots and hits in the league. The Tkachuk boy is high event.
Sometimes the difference between the perfect shot and one that isn't even officially recorded is just an inch or 2. When we come back, we spotlight some of the close calls for Dallas this season. They have in Dallas as they host the Senators at American Airlines Center. And before puck drop, we take a look at tonight's Shiner Box Spotlight.
It's a 2 3/8 inch Schedule 40 lead pipe, 14 feet of it. Painted bright red, makes up the goal frame. And only the Maple Leafs have hit that pipe harder than the Dallas Stars thus far. 9 times for the Stars. That bittersweet sonus of rubber colliding with iron, so balletic, especially in slow motion. A few go off the post or the crossbar and in, and we're not harping on scoring struggles as much with this group right now. Sure, hearing a scoring chance can be titillating, but a little down, a little in, boys. Adjust the sights.
Braden Holtby has been lights out in his first year with the Stars. Tonight he's back in net for Dallas as they go for the split with the Senators. We've got more on the starting goalies and opening face-off right after this.
The Dallas Stars getting set to host the Ottawa Senators. We are moments away from puck drop. Michelle McMahon here with you. The boys mentioned at the top of the show just how powerful Miro Heiskanen has been for this team. So I wanted to play off of that concept, but take it a little bit differently. So I had a conversation with Tyler Seguin this morning. These guys are familiar with luxury vehicles. They're pro hockey players, right? So I asked him, if Miro Heiskanen was to be compared to a luxury car vehicle, what vehicle would you choose? He said, definitely the new Ferrari coming out this summer, the SF90. It's a hybrid, so it's an electrical setup with 986 horsepower. It goes 0 to 60 in just 2 seconds, but it's versatile. He said Miro is kind of like a Ferrari in the way that he can rev up the engine and make it loud on offense, and yet he also has that hybrid mode where he's stealth and quiet and just goes about his business and does his job the right way, guys. So both the Ferrari and Miro Heiskanen top in their class. Josh.
Yeah, and if you're getting someone to critique based on cars, you pick the right guy in Tyler Seguin. As the Stars and Sens get ready to rev it up here, we check out the goalies.
Braden Holtby looks to continue his excellent early season play and his career success against the Sens. Philip Gustafsson played really well against the Stars in Ottawa. Stopped 32 at 34, so he gets the nod again.
Stars breaking out the blackouts for the first of 14 times this year. The puck is dropped. We are underway from American Airlines Center. It's the Senators. Artem Zub, who tosses it up ahead. Drake Batherson hands off for Josh Norris. It's that top line for Ottawa starting the game for DJ Smith. They combined for 4 goals and 7 points their last time out in Monday's high-scoring affair. Shot off the outside of the net. And bump to the near wing. The defenseman Zub steps down, moves it for Norris. He'll bank it up top. Thomas Chabot leads the NHL in time on ice per game. We'll see a lot of him tonight as it's wristed up and out of play for the game's first whistle, 40 seconds in.
Our Taco Bell take tonight. The Stars, as you mentioned, breaking out the blackouts for the first time. Last year they wore them 9 times. Only 2 regulation losses in this building with those frocks, and they averaged almost 3.5 goals a game. Maybe that blinding skyline green helps the offense a little bit at the other end.
They had a lot of milestones for the young kids in the blackouts. You have to dig deep into the bag of tricks, see what they can pull out here tonight. Heiskanen into the line, not out. Chopped and kept by Holden. Second effort, and the Stars will get it out. Jason Robertson pursuing. These two teams met 12 days ago. Each of them has 3 lineup changes from that game to this one. Robertson, of course, had yet to make his debut. Blake Como as well. John Klingberg was injured. The 3 of them are all in action tonight. 1 change from the other night for the Stars. Yanni Hakanpää was a late scratch. A couple of hours before the game, he was placed on the NHL's COVID protocol list, so Joel Hanley checks back in. Here comes Esa Lindell, feeds Robertson, and a shot turned aside by Gustafsson. First tester was a tough one.
Nice tight tunnel on the netminder to jump across in that butterfly and close it down.
Here's Hanley fresh off the bench. He'll find Sekera, hand it off for Alexander Radulov. Radulov begins this game on the same line. It was working for Rick Bowness last game. It's Jamie Benn at center and the opposite wing, Dennis Gurianov. As far as Bowness is concerned, didn't need to change much in personnel. He liked the way the team looked, just didn't like the final result. There's Ennis. Low shot, deflected by a cutter off the outside of the cage. Sekera to the line and unable to hold it with Chabot, and then turning on the Jets. Tyler Seguin, he'll catch up. Seguin ribs it around. Kiviranta and Glendening, who come in and join Seguin on this line. He takes the feed in the slot. Rebound comes down. Klingberg denied. Jammed at the rebound again. The Stars put it towards the net and through all of it. Gustafsson holds his ground and covers up.
Well, a couple of real spiffy scoring opportunities for the Stars. First one off the rush, some nice manipulation of the puck at the blue line to Spring. Robertson tries to go 5-hole, had to have looked appealing for a moment, and a good save by Gustafsson. The last one was a flurry of activity in front. I think Glendening was the last to rip a loose puck into the paraphernalia of the Ottawa netminder. Good start.
That's something you were mentioning on the radio side before the start of this game, was the rebounds and getting to those greasy areas. That's something the Stars have to be happy with generating early on in this game. Here's Brown the other direction, a shot by Victor Mete. One of those changes from Ottawa's lineup last time these two teams met.
That was an easy block. That wasn't an easy block for John Klingberg on a 2-on-1. He just stood his ground. Mete just ripped it right into his ankles. Both teams are playing extremely fast with their transition game to begin tonight.
Stützle just did get out of the way of Klingberg. Now carrying it in, it's Paul. Drop for Batherson, and it grazed off of Holtby.
Batherson's ripped a puck from each side of the ice here now on his first 2 shifts.
You'd understand why
yeah,
he'd
obviously
be feeling
it.
Coming off a 3-goal, 4-point game on Monday. Last year was a bit of a coming out party for Batherson. 17 goals on the season, and he's looking to shoot right past that number here with a full 82-game complement. Holden for Zaitsev. Turned over, and the Stars will look to take advantage. Fed to the slot. Brady Tkachuk is there. There was some thought that Tkachuk might debut against Dallas a couple weeks ago. Wasn't the case. Hintz over to Heiskanen. Now behind the net, poked at by Hintz. Heiskanen's got it, top of the zone, Robertson. Fed to Lindell, a little too far for the defenseman. Hands possession to Norris, he goes to Holden. And out to Tkachuk, who gets cut off in front of the Dallas bench. Stars steal, and they'll work back from their own zone.
That can be a tricky pass when you go back to your changing bench like that. Too many guys on the ice, somebody hops on, plays the puck, and you get nailed for too many men.
Tierney to the left wing. Here's Alex Formenton, a shot kicked out. Zub the rebound, near side. Poked in the slot directly on Holtby, who had to be alert.
It was Tierney right in front. What a crazy ricochet. I'll be shocked if Tierney has a great game tonight against the Stars. Potted a couple power play goals in Ottawa and seems to always figure in good action whenever he plays the Dallas Stars.
Zaitsev to Shabbat. Handoff, and here's Dylan Gambrell. He was just acquired earlier this week from the San Jose Sharks. He's making his Ottawa Senators debut, 110 games over his career in San Jose. He's sandwiched along the corner boards, pinned up by Sekera. Stars will try to dig it free. They do. Can't clear, though. Shot redirected and bounces through the crease and wide. It was Sanford, the ex-Blue, who got a piece of it. Near sideboards, and there's Gramble getting hit. And Sekera is going to go. 2 minutes for cross-checking on the new man in town.
Well, they were able to keep the puck in the zone along the boards, and some visual daggers being sent by Sekera to the official at center ice. Gambrell, who is making his debut, just put their power play on the job. They sit top 10 in the NHL heading into play here tonight. And a Stars penalty kill that has surrendered just 1 power play goal over their last 4 games. I mean, they have a good run. Good matchup in the early going here tonight.
They're 18 of 21 on the season are the Stars. It's just about 86%, but as you mentioned, Tierney and Ottawa responsible for 2 of the 3 that Dallas has allowed.
Both of them were absolute flukes.
Yeah, they all look the same in the box score. Here's Shabbat to Stützle. Good movement to the far wing, and then in front, a shot stop, rebound, score. Josh Norris was positioned just outside the crease, picked up the loose puck. Nothing Holtby could do, and it's the Senators' power play striking again.
Well, Norris was a big power play production rookie last year with 6 power play goals and 14 power play points. The guy who made a mess of the front of the net was Brady Tkachuk. He occupied Esa Lindell. Esa tried to boot the puck to a teammate, instead kicked it right to Josh Norris. And with Holtby going one way, he went blocker side and opened the scoring. So a costly cross-checking penalty down in the corner for the Stars, and they'll have to punch from behind here tonight.
So it's goals in 3 straight games now for Norris. The Ottawa power play is 3 for 4 on the season against the Stars. Dallas got on the board early on in the game in the first meeting as the road team. It was Michael Raffl scoring a few minutes in, only to see Ottawa answer less than a minute later. So now the Stars will try and return that same favor on home ice. Shabbat angled it out and just did get past Klingberg, who attempted to keep it in the zone.
Man, for a young team, though, that's lost a few games in a row and on the road for a while here. Now, what a fabulous start for them, right? Get a couple saves from your netminder, get a power play, cash in, play with a lead.
Joel Hanley, step past center, flipped ahead. Robertson hit hard by Tkachuk, and then it rolls in on Gustafson, and he's able to secure it there. With 13:18 left in the first, Ottawa power play makes an early appearance to take the game's first lead, 1-0 on the Norris tally.
Ottawa Senators 1-0. I always felt the sheet was a give up on the costume, but the trio looked pretty good. Rick Bowness pushed the tempo at practice yesterday for his crew. You can see them out here tonight trying to, play with pace, both with the puck and their legs. That's great. They need more of that overspeed, but you can get yourself in trouble too with transition and the other team going the other way.
Heiskanen bumped down by Stützle. A couple of third overall picks going head to head there. Center ice, it's chipped up and over the glass into the seats. Just about 7 minutes gone by in the game. Fans, you can celebrate the spookiest holiday on ice at select Children's Health Star Centers around DFW. Wear your costume to our Halloween-themed public skates this coming weekend for your chance to win prizes. You can view the full schedule at dallasstars.com/public skating.
Yep. There you go. Queen of Hearts, 9 of Hearts, huh?
That's going all out.
That is. Winner.
The sunglasses on the sheet, it was a decent accessory.
It's a cop-out. That's like trick-or-treating with a plastic grocery bag, too. You got to use a pillowcase.
Yeah. Gonna see some of that, I'm sure,
Little
on
effort.
Sunday.
Little effort, people.
All right, well, now DFW, you're warned. Puck up the wall. Hanley trying to keep it in. It's the Senators who come out. Jamie Benn stepped in and planted Tierney. Sekera goes back, edge of the trapezoid. Fought for deep in Dallas territory. Hanley comes away with it. He'll use the glass. Chip got a little more on it than he wanted. 200 feet later, it's icing against Dallas.
There was a lot of talk by DJ Smith and the Senators about the Stars being a big physical team, and Jamie Benn just introduced himself to Tierney. A snarl on the captain, and that'll rattle the bicuspids. Lost the glove, picked it up, went right back at it again. Sens can be a physical young team too. It's a good match. I like this matchup. It's been a good game so far.
The only goal belongs to the Senators on the power play. The man who scored it, Norris, kicked out of the face-off circle, so it's Tkachuk against Benn. Benn wins it. He's been so good in that department. The Stars as a whole were outstanding in the draw against Vegas. They basically did everything they wanted to do except score and win, which are two pretty big things the other night. There's a shot by Tkachuk, and he scores! Brady Tkachuk from the slot gets his first of the season. And quickly, Ottawa's up 2-0.
There's just been too much of this in the early season from a Stars perspective. They have the puck, then the other team has the puck, and then there's a puck in the back of the net, and then there's a face-off at center ice. Defensive zone turnover, high slot, ripper through a screen, 2-0 Sens. I mean, it was a infection in their game in Columbus, their last road game, and that's a costly burp up in their own zone there.
Certainly not the start that Dallas envisioned. 2 goals for Ottawa on their first 6 shots, and less than half a period in, It's a multi-goal deficit against the Stars. Suter over to Raffl. Moved around for Klingberg. He'll funnel it down low for Raffl. Had one of the 2 Dallas goals in Ottawa. They'll take it on the left wing side. And given away, slides out to center. It's Tkachuk's 4th game of the season after he was in that contract dispute right out past opening night and into the early portion of this NHL season. Signed a 7-year, $57 million deal. Stick around in Ottawa for a long time and immediately showcasing why. Holden is hit for Zaitsev. Pass for Connor Brown and touchdown to center. Stars will look to carry back in quickly. It's Lindell. Put it towards the net. Stick to side, no problem. Gustafsson.
Right idea, though. Tyler was heading there.
Lindell, that shot never got through. Rebound, caroms around, and the Stars could not bury it. Sagan had a point-blank chance. Maybe went off the pipe.
I'm bewildered as to how that wasn't 2-1. He was in behind Gustafsson.
So now play at the other end. Remains 2-0 Ottawa. What a big punchback that could have been for Dallas. Here's Shabbat. Off of contact to the left corner. Hope he got the stick down. Intercept the pass. Falls to Stützle. And the Stars turn it over. Connor Brown. 3 helpers in the first meeting. Moves it around to Shabbat. He snaps it to Zub. Now back to Shabbat. Left wing point. He's measured by Glendening, pressured, lifted to Nick Paul. Paul, puck on his stick. And then hands for Shabbat, left circle Zub, back to Shabbat, a shot off of Holtby and bounced to the near corner.
He got enough of it. He thought he had it clutched. It ricocheted off him into the corner.
Pressure out to center ice. Senators trying to extend their lead here as the Stars had a great opportunity to cut it in half. Drake Batherson from the wing. Saved by Holtby. Bouncing puck eluded Batherson. Norris tried to thread it back through. It's Tkachuk, 3rd man on the line. Over to Josh Brown and redirected. Holtby hangs on. 10:39 gone by in the first. It was the power play scoring first for the Senators. Then Brady Tkachuk, even strength. 2-0 Ottawa.
That wind gust and taking a 2-0 lead over the Stars midway through the opening period. Sagan came awfully close to cutting that in half. He got knocked a kilter on a schmozzle in front of the net, and I think it was Zub's stick that went in there, knifed it aside. Tyler could never get enough stick blade on that, so he re-candy cane the shaft of that stick on the Stars bench and is ready to go again.
Dallas controls it off the draw. They turn it over on the wing. Just miscommunication there, as there wasn't pressure that led to that one. Ennis in front. His pass can't connect, comes all the way back out.
What I was alluding to earlier, it's one thing to play fast, but you have to play smart fast too. Senators are doing that.
Pass was behind Formanton. Now it's Suter. And ahead for Klingberg. He's got Ben. Ben towards the cage. Gustafsson hangs on.
Ben and Josh Brown back together again for Ben Brown 2, perhaps. First shift of the game in Ottawa. The two of them exchanged pugilistic unpleasantries. They're going to separate here. You know, Jamie just trying to drive energy into it. It was a good one, too. When Ben went southpaw on him, he clacked him a few times in the jaw. And Brown is a big lad at 6'5", 220. Jamie's no shrinking violet either. It was right on the logo at center ice at Canadian Tire Center.
Face-off in Sens territory is controlled by Ottawa. Right around Sanford. And now here comes Shaw in left side, and the shot bounces off of Holtby.
Stars trying to hold their blue line there, and two guys got blown past. Holtby to the rescue.
It's already the 10th shot on goal for the Senators. The Stars limited the Golden Knights to 5 in the first period on Wednesday.
Braden's been busy again. This is the first time he's surrendered 2 goals in the opening period of any of his starts, and that was a good stop. You have a right shot barreling down that side, and Shaw He has a deadly look from where the puck is at that far side, and Holtby got the left shoulder on it.
Kachuk will step in to take another draw after Norris gets kicked out. Pavelski wins it. And Ottawa just stronger to the puck. They get it behind the net. Shabbat left side, one-timer save, and the rebound bounces through a corner of the crease and wide. Near the line, Norris hustles to keep it in. Kachuk in front. He was trying to find Batherson. Sekera broke it up.
Well, that guy's blowing the zone again before the work is done in behind their own blue line.
Now the Stars are in. Pavelski holds up, looks for help. Put it towards the net. Off Gustafsson and out of play.
Sens coach DJ Smith said after that 3-2 win against the Stars, we're playing well at home. We're going to have to continue that and then take it on the road. Well, they didn't win since. They're playing extremely well on the road in the opening period here in Dallas tonight, though.
5 of 6 to open up for the Senators at home, and now it's down south for the first time in a long time for these Sens.
I mean, they've forced the Stars to make happy hands quicker than they want to decisions with the puck in their own zone. And that's what got them in trouble the other night a couple of times on goals against. You know, the turnover on Shea Theodore's goal in the first period, guys were leaving up ice. It happened in overtime, guys were leaving up ice.
How much do you trace that to the offensive struggles that
they're having? A little
bit,
sure. But I mean, you can't cheat your way to health in that category.
Yeah. A few of the players have said as much. Saying it and doing it, of course, are two different things.
Right, and it's even worse, or it's compounded by the fact you're down 2-0 on home ice almost immediately.
Here's Kiviranta, low shot. He may have been looking for a rebound with Heiskanen darting down the left side. It just went a little too far left.
They've done that a few times.
Sagan back in. Holds up. He had pressure immediately. 3 white sweaters near him.
I was going to say, I mean, where are you going to go? They have hounded, badgered, swarmed, skated extremely well.
Klingberg holds up while the Stars in the midst of a change. Then he hands it ahead. And across the line, Como weaves, finds Klingberg again. It was in his skates, nearly turned over. Stars defenseman stays with it and reaching a poke. Sent it around by Raffl, but Senators clear. Quick re-entrance, Raffl across the line. He'll chip it down low. It wasn't clean and whistled down offside.
They're having to roll their sleeves up to get their opportunities against the Senators here, and that's not a surprise after they gave up 7 goals in their last game. You know, wire pucks on net, get people heading there, try to create rebound opportunities for others by smart shooting. But you watch, like, you might beat one Senator and then there's a second Senator there right away, and that's always the hallmark of a team that mentally is locked in defensively.
John Klingberg from center. Little slip pass, winds up in the corner, first on the scene. Ben in front. He was looking, Radulov got a tip on it, but off target.
Yeah, he'd almost, at least he had leverage on holding the defenseman.
Holden clears, and Holtby's forced to play because Ennis was going to win the race to icing and then turned over in the corner. Formanton. So now Ennis has it. Small forward moves it up for Zaitsev. Ennis has enjoyed his time throughout his career when he's been in Ottawa. And Tierney gets hit, smacked by Klingberg, a little slow to get up. Puck comes back nearby, and a couple days before Halloween, Tierney was still clearing the cobwebs.
Still is on his way back to the bench. He's been drilled twice here.
Sent the length by the Senators. And icing, and yeah, Tierney's still getting looked at on the Senators bench.
The jaw, I think he took a lot of John Klingberg in the jaw. And John can be sneaky physical. Came in, yeah, forearm shiver, got away with that. The ref was looking right at it. And he gave him an elbow right in the earlobe.
As he continues to be examined, play restarts. Dallas has it. Lindell with a shot. Deflected off of Ennis. High off the netting and out of play. Down to 5.5 left in the first. Both goals in the game belong to the visiting Senators. 2-0 Ottawa in Dallas.
Senators ahead of the Stars 2-0 late in the opening period here. Stars had rejigged their decor again here tonight. I feel bad for Yanni Hakanpää. What a lurching start to his Stars career. Broke a finger in the preseason. Got kicked out of a game for a hit on Drew Doughty, and now COVID.
Zach Sanford gets it to the line. Couple reaches by Robertson, held it in. Now Sanford starts it the other way. It's Dallas controlling. Again, pressure up ice. Just one guy, Logan Shaw, and that time he was giving Heiskanen fits. Heiskanen taps the brakes, looks for a better route.
They got to come back, come out as a group.
3 returned underneath their own defensive line. It looked like it opened up for Hintz as he tried to walk his way around Zub and just lost the puck off his skate. Sanford ahead for Shabbat. Defenseman carries to the slot and knocked to the sidewall. Stars are on it.
You think Heiskanen plays a lot. Watch Shabbat. He's half a game. His last few games, 30, 27, and 29.
24-year-old that rarely leaves the ice as it's deflected out of play by the benches. Fans, keep up with all the action by following the Stars on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for the latest team news, score updates, content, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. And for more must-see Stars videos, follow us on TikTok.
Oh, there's some funny Halloween stuff on TikTok.
You've been perusing it?
Great, the candy is my favorite.
Top of the zone is shot. I want to whistle here. I want that list to grow. See what else is there on the
Not
playlist.
safe for broadcast,
No?
Josh.
Right. Well, maybe an intermission. You and I will have a sidebar. Klingberg hands it back for Suter. Off his stick. It's Mete, former Montreal Canadian defenseman. He was picked up by Ottawa on waivers late last season in April. John Klingberg given a lot of ice while the Sens are in a change. Carries it down to the corner and flipped it back through. Suter off the wing and a shot redirected and darted off the end glass and then out of play.
It was hammered. Ryan Suter looking for his first as a Dallas Star. I think it went off of Nick Paul and against the grain. Speaking of guys who don't mind playing half the hockey game over and over in their career, it's 2 defensemen. Klingberg takes it behind the icing line, throws a prayer in front of the net, and they don't have much puck luck in their offensive game either. As that went off the shin pad, you can see Gustafsson reaching with the glove, and it went on the blocker side wide.
Face-off is there on that same side. It'll be Ben against Shaw. Shaw wins it cleanly back. Around for Stützle, and then bounces to the far wing. Hopped on by Dallas. High shot, grazed off bodies. Stützle, strong on his stick, was able to reach and keep away from Gurianov. Now carries the other way. Tim Stützle, and a shot saved by Holtby. He had the post sealed off. There's a bid by Holden. Hit traffic. Paul on the scene. Soft moving tap for Stützle. Hustling Zaitsev. Holds it in at the right point. With 3.5 to play in the first period, 2-0 Senators have the lead. Power play goal early on by Josh Norris. Even strength goal 2:06 later, Brady Tkachuk. Weaving in front and a chance by Paul. Looking for his second of the season series, and Holtby swallowed it up.
You know, there's a thing in the Stars defensive game called the second quick. And when you're in a situation like that, a second star should be in there to win the puck. Jamie comes in eventually, but doesn't get full control of it, and it allows Paul to take it out of the corner off the boards to the front of the net.
Clean face-off win by the Stars. Foxa hands it ahead, looking for Glendening. He races after it. They're going to say Shabbat won the race to the dot, icing to the disagreement of the crowd here in Dallas.
Kind of an iffy race, wasn't it? Right to the hash marks, and they'll bring it all the way back down. Stars Glendening, who's trying to win that race, can win a lot of faceoffs, so he can win this one.
On cue, he does. Possession, Dallas. Suter to Klingberg. You're talking about ice time. Klingberg, this is his third game back after missing 4 following the opening night injury. He played a game-high 23 minutes on Wednesday. Shabbat taps for Batherson. Right back to Shabbat. His shot is blocked. Como can start the counterpunch. Here come the Stars, but a slow-moving series of passes, and Dallas can't get in deep.
And catch a break like that. Looks like they're going to have numbers heading up the ice. Can't get on their toes and get going. Boy, the Senators have broken the puck out of their own zone with ease here in the first.
Carrying it in is Heiskanen. Low shot, save Gustafsson. Hintz will horseshoe it around, off the stick, winds up to Pavelski. He's got Robertson. Second game, this trio is back together with Robertson returning to the lineup. Nice pass for Lindell. Low shot, right back to him, put it towards the net. Gustafsson, I don't know if he ever saw it, but he got his pads in the way.
Yeah, those red fire engine red pads sealed the ice.
Here's Tierney spinning to the slot, shot fought off, rebound, what a save! It went right to Formenton, and the left leg of Holtby just robbed him.
That seems fairly necessary in a 2-0 deficit. Stars finally got a cycle going in the Ottawa zone to create their chance and then give up that.
Tierney just spun his way, put a puck on net. It turned into the most dangerous of rebounds, and save of the night so far for Holtby. Keeps it 2-0 as the clock continues to move inside a minute and a half, and now whistled down as it bounces into the Senators bench.
And you have to have saves like this, right? And Holtby with a rebound against the grain, and it's a desperation flash out with the left pad. That is tentacular. Formenton, if he gets it another 2 inches higher than that, it's over the pad. Nothing that Holtby can do about it, but it's the quickness and the alertness of Holtby that keeps it 2-0.
Formenton scored on opening night. He doesn't have a point since, and he's probably still wondering how that's the case. Gurionov for Radulov, taken by Paul. Turned it over for a moment and then batted out to center.
They just keep supporting one another really, really well.
Final minute of this opening period. Sends on the attack. Stutzla off the wing. Didn't like the look. Banks it back up high for Zub. Swung to Shabbat. Left point. Ramped off his stick. It was blocked by Radulov, out of play.
They're a handful tonight. You got a lot of guys like Shabbat who are the core of their young group that's going to be the future and an issue for everyone in the Atlantic Division, which is a tough one right now. They're competitive as it is. You know, I was looking at Tyler Ennis. If you go through everybody on their roster, Tyler Ennis is the only guy born in the 80s. You got guys in the 2000s now. He's the only guy in the 80s, 89.
The league's getting younger and younger. You peruse some of these teams in a rebuild, their rosters, it'll make you feel old pretty quick. Flipped ahead by Sagan. Shabbat catches up.
Smart play by Brady Tkachuk. You know, he skates into Sagan's ice, doesn't allow him to get on the gallop. It's like a 1-minute interference penalty, if you will.
Iced by the Stars. I don't know if Lindell thought he had help to win the race or he was trying to put that on net, but it's going to come back for a face-off in the Stars zone.
Well, Tyler's going to hit the gas here as the Stars traipse up the ice. And he's got Tkachuk right in front of him. That happened twice. It happened a little later when he was trying to get to speed. They say you're entitled to your ice, but you can't go steal someone else's. They don't get it that often, though. Put a lot of heat on winning draws in their own zone at times in this opening period, too.
Yeah, on a play like that, 21 seconds to go. Glendening will be tasked with it. Last season's #2 face-off man league-wide. It is won back by the Sens, eventually controlled by the Stars. They get it out of harm's way. And Shabbat tosses it in. The Senators are offside, so they have to retreat. When they don't, that'll bring a whistle, which we just got.
Well, this has been a disappointing opening period coming off of a disappointing finish here the other night. They had their opportunities early on, and they're making their own life more miserable than it needs to be with poor puck management and a costly penalty, and that's the 2-0, and the inability to squeeze something past the goalie at the other end again.
They put 13 shots on net. Gustafsson turned aside every single one he saw. Final seconds, puck back in the Stars zone. That's where the remaining will tick off, and the opening period comes to a close. Stars will look to regroup here at intermission. I would
think the refrain, and Gustafsson was good again, unfortunately for the Stars, but first things first, take care of things here before you get to speed going there, and they didn't do that throughout the period.
So the scoring can be traced back to just about a 2-minute segment in that opening period. Norris on the power play, his 4th of the season. Tkachuk, his 1st of the year a couple minutes later. 2-0 Senators lead the Stars. First intermission report comes your way right after this.
Intermission report, the Stars and Sens squaring off for the second time this season, this time at the American Airlines Center. The Stars trailing the Senators 2-0 after the first 20 minutes on the ice. Welcome in, I'm Lauren Callender alongside Brian Ray and Brent Severin. Guys, Philippe Gustafsson really holding his ground early on. Ottawa has really ridden that into a 2-0 lead. Not how the Stars wanted to start this one.
Yeah, Sevy, I thought the Senators, they weathered that early storm. Dallas had some good looks, but the team speed of the Ottawa Senators is what's jumping up to me right now. They're attacking the net front. They've caused some chaos in the Star zone with quick sticks. They've got good young talent, and they're moving their feet, and they're getting to spots quicker than Dallas is right now.
Yeah, if you watch the game with the Washington Capitals and the Ottawa Senators, you saw they didn't start very well, the Senators. They were down 4 goals, 16 minutes in. They obviously wanted to make a statement here in that first period.
Josh Norris gets the opening goal on the power play. Brady Tkachuk gets his first goal of the season. Brian, walk us through the highlights.
Well, Sevy, some power play woes continuing for the Dallas Stars, or penalty kill woes, I should say, as you see Josh Norris in front. There's the loose puck. Brady Tkachuk at his rear end, dropping anchor in front of Braden Holtby. And Sevy, it's another power play goal with a loose puck in front. Dallas saw that twice when they were in Ottawa.
Yeah, they move it around nicely, as you can see, and anytime it does this, you know they're going to be in trouble. Kicks off the pad, and Norris is right there to batter home.
Josh Norris with his 4th of the season. That gave Ottawa the 1-0 lead. They've got 3 power play goals in 2 games against the Stars this year, and then a tough turnover. As you see, Denis Gurianov just sort of floats it up the middle, right onto the blade of Brady Tkachuk. Stick, bang, snaps it home. Sevy, he's getting paid $50+ million for a reason, and that's why.
Yeah, the Stars are able to garner the puck in the corner, and then unfortunately, Gurianov throws that right on the stick. And again, we're seeing a theme here of traffic in front of the net.
So Brady Tkachuk, as you get one last look at it, scoring his 1st of the season. Remember, he missed the first couple of games this year because he was trying to get his contract situation figured out with the Ottawa Senators. But now that he's back with this team, he is the spark plug, and they're moving tonight right now.
Well, Brian, you mentioned it, the penalty kill woes. The Senators are 3 for 4 on the power play against the Stars this season. What's causing Dallas to struggle so much on the PK?
Sevy, you look at those 2 goals they scored in Ottawa, everything's in front of the net. You got the awkward bounce off Tierney there, a couple of fluke bounces, but with that chaos, the same thing with Norris tonight in front of the net. There's Tierney on the doorstep again. All 3 of their power play goals have come within about a 4-foot distance of that blue paint.
Yeah, they like to push the puck off to the side and then back to that middle position. They did it over and over against the Washington Capitals, and then tonight as well.
Well, guys, when the Jack in the Box intermission report returns, the Stars have had their chances to score. We'll take a look at the numbers from the first period and talk Braden Holtby's first 20 minutes in net tonight. Coming up next. Back to the Jack in the Box intermission report. The Ottawa Senators are in town to face the Dallas Stars. The Stars trailing 2-0 at the American Airlines Center at the end of the first period. Let's go ahead now and take a look at numbers here from the first. Pretty even there on the faceoff. Dallas, 56% winning those draws. Shots on goal. Ottawa Senators with 15 to Dallas Stars 13. But look at this interesting number, guys. 8 giveaways. Dallas giving the puck up a bunch tonight. Let's go ahead now and check in with Stars ringside reporter Michelle McMahon, who caught up with John Stevens at the end of the period.
Yeah, Lauren, puck management was a key area of discussion, as was the Stars not really picking up where they left off on Wednesday. I started with the obvious question. Do you feel like they had any juice going into this matchup? John Stevens says no. In fact, he felt they took a couple of steps back. As for what he didn't like about their performance, he said Ottawa is simply playing faster than we are. They are dictating the pace right now. They're beating us the pucks. And I asked him, is that more of a physical thing or a mindset thing? He said it's totally a mindset. We have to decide to play a little bit harder and with more intensity. As for the message heading into the second period, it's exactly that. We have to manage the pucks better. We have to amp up our intensity, and we have to shorten our shifts and up the tempo, Lauren.
Thanks, Michelle. Guys, you heard it. They need to up their intensity. How do they do that moving forward in this game?
They certainly need to clean it up, Sebi. They did lay a couple of big hits in that period, so I wonder if Dallas is hoping for the long con here where some of that physicality can slow down that Ottawa speed. They're already down 2-0, though. They can't let this hole get too big. We'll see if they can wear them out a little bit, but, you know, John Stevens, I agree with exactly what he said. It feels like Ottawa's the faster team.
Yeah, one of the things that we're looking at, too, is the second pass. First one is getting up, but the second one is having so much trouble getting up the ice. So they have to do that. The puck moves faster than skating. Then obviously you want to make sure that you're getting the pucks deep and working it low a little bit better.
Brian, final thoughts as we head into the second period.
He says get cleaner with the puck in that second pass. I say amp up your physicality a little bit, see if you can neutralize some of that Ottawa speed. And Braden Holtby, just keep holding the fort, man. It's a 2-0 deficit. Let's not let it get out of hand.
All right, guys. Well, we've got the second period coming up here at the American Airlines Center. The Stars trail 2-0. Second period coming up. We'll catch you right back here in the second intermission.
Casino and Resort Durant. Expansion now open. Stakes raised. Frontier Fiber Optic, ranked in the top 5 fastest fiber internet in America. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Two 2-0 Stars trailing the Senators as we get set to begin the second period of play from American Airlines Center. We welcome you back inside. Razor, throughout that first period, we talked an awful lot about puck security for the Stars and how a lack of it can prove to be costly.
Yeah, by my count, 8 of the last 9 goals the Stars have surrendered have come off of turnovers, either in the defensive zone or at the attack blue line. And whether it's the egress or the ingress part of it, you know, guys trying to make a play, stripped of it, turn it over, other team goes the other direction, boom, it's in the back of the net. It happened a lot recently. In Columbus, it was highly problematic, but it's not just that game. Here the other night against the Golden Knights, turnover trying to come out of their own zone, ends up in the back of the net. First period here tonight, turnover in their own zone, boom, back of the net. So, you know, you don't want to tell guys you can't make plays or don't try to make plays, but make better ones and smarter ones. And it's usually what happens right after a turnover that is as costly as anything. You can cover up for those, and they're not in a position a lot of the time to cover up for others.
Stars will look to climb out of the hole that was created in the first. Beginning 5-on-5 in this middle frame of action. Suter up ahead for Sagan and then touched into the attack zone. Gustafsson, who is a perfect 13 of 13, keeps it moving. Fired shot up high by Sagan. Zub bounces it to center ice. The Stars looking to re-enter. Kiviranta had to hold up because Glendening was touching up. Now the Stars are back in. It's banked over to the near side. Held in by Radulov. Funneled low for Sagan. Tyler Sagan protecting for Klingberg. The defenseman was down low. Fed it to Lindell. He was a little far from where the pass was going, and it's out to center.
Sagan, Kiviranta, and Glendening did not start by accident here in the second period. I mean, look, especially those two wingers are playing the way the Stars want to play.
That's hitting the way Jamie Benn wants to hit. His second time he's steamrolled a guy in white. That time it was Zub on the wrong end of it. Benn to the left point, Sekera. Nick Paul trying to pull away one-handed. Nicely done. Got it to the Stars line. Gurionov was looking to turn on the Jets. He had to go wide. He was caught by Paul. And Paul bumps it ahead out of the reach of Stützle. Minute and a half into the second period. 2-0 Sens. Here's Miro Heiskanen down the left wing. He stops in the corner, then pickpocketed by Paul. Artem Zub. Bank pass for Stützle. Poked away by Hanley. The Stars will race in. Rope hits. Blows past Holden and a shot save. Gustafsson rebound just eludes Robertson.
And it hit him right on the tip of the stick blade. He couldn't see the pass. What a rush for Rope Hintz, who's done that, especially here on home ice. Just unfortunately has nothing to show.
Holden was put in a rough spot because he was basically standing still, and Hintz had the head start, the correct direction. He's going to win that race, Rope, against pretty much anyone in the NHL, and he went around Holden like he was stationary. Just could not bury it. At the other end, nice job by Heiskanen to break up the pass. Robertson chasing after Ennis. Two of them cancel out. Back for Holden. He's hit hard in the corner. Turned over. This is a good start to this period for the Stars. They'd love to cash in. Getting bumped down as Raffl one-hands it into the corner.
Well, usually what happens from this is either you do get on the board or you get your power play on the ice because you're swarming and marauding. They came awfully close to cutting the lead in half moments ago.
Yeah, about 18,000 felt that they came awfully close to getting on the power play too as Raffl was pushed down. Stars have not gone on the power play so far. Just one chance for the Sens. It was a successful one. Last time out, Dallas only had and gave up one power play opportunity Wednesday against Vegas. Shaw gets bumped off, and Sanford throws a check. Dallas fights through it. And glove down Josh Brown trying to poke forward was Kiviranta. Could not corral the puck in the process. Klingberg ran himself out of real estate. Batherson rims it all the way near the line, and Glendening is on the scene. They'll toss it into drive. Take a hip check from Tkachuk. Walk through it. Bounces to Sagan. Tight angle shot. Gustafsson with the save. The rebound dangerously went into the slot, but the Sens were there. Dallas did get 13 shots on goal in the opening period from 10 different skaters. Now Zub almost stick handled his way into trouble, gets a reprieve, but can't connect with Paul, and it becomes icing against Ottawa.
Go back to that chance for Rope Hintz, who has just the lone assist so far this season. Danced into the middle. I mean, it's a great shot. A terrific save by Gustafsson. Tried to get it over that pad under the blocker. He got it maybe a smidge too high, and that fire engine red blocker spit it aside. Very sort of subtly, Gustafsson's had a remarkable game and a period and a bit against the Dallas Stars. He makes it look relatively easy.
32 of 34 in the first meeting and 15 of 15 in this one. Here's Paul to Shabbat. Laterally across the blue line. Bennett looking for Zub, got right through him. Now Ben. And off of Gurianov becomes a turnover in front. And Holtby with the save, he looks behind him. And the Stars are able to come away with it in the trapezoid.
Again, they're trying to come from their own zone, and Gurianov of two minds.
Heiskanen, his pass redirected nearly towards the cage. He was looking for Robertson. Now backdoor Robertson denied as Gustafsson tracked it, made the save, and hangs on.
This is flat out obscene. Gurianov leaving the zone is sloppy with the puck. Backdoor tip, trickle. A lot of help for Braden Holtby from Joel Hanley, who dove in behind him to make sure it stayed out. And then a sweet, incisive pass by Heiskanen to Robertson. Stone point blank.
Stars control. Robertson, a shot saved. Gustafsson, he regathers that one as well. And yeah, you were talking about it. The beat goes on for that young man.
They call him Goose. He says he's learned to relax a little bit. It seems very relaxed in there against the Stars. Back-to-back chances for Robertson, devoured by the big Swede.
Shot by Klingberg goes wide. Rope hints for Robertson and then clanked off his stick. Holden turns it the other way for Ennis. Following up Tierney. He'll skate in. Walk to the corner. Met by the shoulder there of Ryan Suter. Then a puck pops out for Ennis. He can never settle it down and redirect it on net. Ryan Suter fires in from center. Around where Holden will pitchfork it for Zaitsev. He partially fanned, paid for it. And Pavelski inched up the boards. Stars jumped to it. But a pass to a vacant point. It was Faksa, and he was too far off the point.
First 6 minutes, the Stars way tighter as a group of 5 on the ice.
Faksa back in, fed to the left. Looking for a quick pass off his stick was Raffel. Then he steals it, creates a turnover in Dallas's favor. Back along the near side boards. Ennis gets to it. Sekera as well. Sekera comes away with it, holds the zone. Funneled to the far side. Raffel quickly there. Rolls up Sanford, and he gets stapled off in front of the Stars bench, and Ottawa does not clear the zone.
Well, the Stars are skating in straight lines now and arriving hard on the puck.
There is Sanford at the other end after Lindell tried to knock it out of midair and couldn't. And Mete finds Shaw. Nice corral of the pass. Gambrell with a shot in far side. Didn't miss by much. Dylan Gambrell switch of directions. Then another one on Sekera. Fed to the left point, Mete. And it goes around to the far wing. Lindell for Sekera. Flying through this second period, tremendous pace. Most of it in Dallas's favor, but the score hasn't shifted from the intermission.
This is much more what they want to do, though. I mean, you look at your monitor, you can see a lot of that bright skyline green together. In the first period, they were spread out, and they were out-gathered by the Senators. Their team game was better.
Zub's pass goes off at Norris, who opened the scoring back in the first. And Tkachuk, who added to it. To Zub, in the slot, quick movement, score! Norris, camped between the circles, took a quick feed from Batherson. And after all of that work for Dallas, it's the Senators who get the third goal of the game and extend their lead.
Well, it's Tkachuk, the first Senator to be hard on the puck, wins the puck on the end boards, and from that, it's touch passing from his line mates. Batherson in front just leaves it, and there's not much chance for Holtby. Sekera caught flat-footed with the puck movement. Norris has his second of the night. He's on hat-trick watch, and that top line of the Senators is destroying them offensively in the game.
They combined for 4 goals in the last game, and they have all 3 here in this one. Stars, Jamie Benn reaching for it. It's stripped away by Stützle. Chipped ahead for Connor Brown. Had the route cut off by Hanley. The first career multi-goal game for Josh Norris, who is red hot now with 4 goals in his last 3. Stützle carries it across the blue line, holds up. Bounce off the half wall, Heiskanen. Victor Mete. He slows things down while Ottawa's changing.
And you could just feel the sag from that goal against. The Stars came out, spirited start to the period, lots of chances in and around the Senator net. And then one forecheck, top line, and bang, you're down by 3.
It's a stretch where it's a bit of a microcosm of what they experienced on Wednesday, where they like so much about it, but they don't like the conclusion, which is Norris with his second of the night, the first of this middle frame to make it 3-0.
Casino and Resort Durant marquee matchup tonight. These two, the next best thing to a netminder. Esa Lindell, the Stars leader in block shots with 17 now, and Artem Zub leads Ottawa with 20. top 3 in the NHL. Stars and Sens are 3rd and 4th in the league in block shots. There haven't been a lot of block shots in the game tonight. The pace has been really quick, and shots are getting through. We have a fairly high shot total as we haven't even reached mid-game yet.
Right off the draw, that was a shot, and there's too much humanity to get through for Batherson. Pair of unassisted goals back in the first period. Batherson got the primary helper, Zub the second one on Norris's most recent talent. Shipped out to Kachuk. He gets hit by Como. Stars regather. Blake Como, second game of the year, played 13-12 in his debut on Wednesday. Now Raffle sent it in deep. Zub bumps back for Shabbat. Partially fanned pass. Raffle hits Batherson. Senators come away with it. Norris the outlet. Touched by Batherson. He'll chase while the rest of his teammates change. Foxa for Suter. Carries across the Sens line, then turned over to Zaitsev. Suter gets it back. Slipped it to the corner. Robertson. He's met by Holden. Bump to Suter. And then funneled in deep. Penalty upcoming. Hintz was tripped up by Zaitsev, who's going to go to the box, and the Stars will get their first power play of the hockey game. Just past the midway point. 3-0 Senators. The Stars will look to change that on the man advantage when we come back.
Tonight, half a hockey game to trek up it. They're down 3-0 to the Senators, but heading to the power play. Joe Pavelski was a pure catalyst for the Stars power play last season. This is best work on that. See if he can get them ignited here tonight.
Penalty. Zaitsev for hooking. Stars have 3 power play goals this season. They're 2 for 5 on home ice. This power play is brought to you by TXU Energy. Robertson behind the net, then Radulov sends it around Klingberg. Reach by Hintz, who drew the call, and then Radulov paws it. Tied up along the baseboards. Fought for 3 Stars there. Comes free to Klingberg. He drags with it and then spins it. Robertson will take it off the wall. Spin down low, quick movement, a shot, score! Joe Pavelski, first power play goal this season, gets Dallas on the board.
I mean, they needed a paradigm shift to this game, right? Down 3-0. Either a goal to get them on the board or a power play to get that unit on the ice. What a sizzling pass right into the one-timer wheelhouse for Pavelski. He had to rattle it in. It's the fact he shot it off the pass and got it away quick. Did not allow Gustafsson to get across and get set. Radulov to Pavelski. A 3-0 game is 3-1. Energy in the building.
Pavelski's second goal of the year. Both have come against the Senators. And that one on the man advantage. Gustafsson almost got that one. And you could feel that shot of energy you were talking about here with the crowd, and still half a hockey game. It's Shaw for Zub. Both teams 1 for 1 on the man advantage. Back to a 2-goal game. Heiskanen reaching, can't keep it in. Stars will catch back up in front of the penalty boxes, and then Heiskanen dances his way around one. Flip to the left, Kiviranta. Shot blocked off the end boards, and then Shaw nearly turned it over. 3 Sens were underneath the end line, and Shabbat could slow things down.
You know, the pendulum of a period in a game, and you can feel it. At the beginning of the period, it swung for the Stars, then it swung back violently with the next goal. Now it's come back the other direction again.
Here's Formanton on the attack for Ottawa. Hit by Heiskanen. Off his stick, goes to the right side, Tierney. Reach by Heiskanen, he'll use the boards. And a heavy hit in the corner. Ennis Heiskanen comes in and wants a word with Ennis after he hit Como. Normally the other way around, and Heiskanen was really taking it out on Ennis. Behind the play, they continue their exchange by the benches. Radek Faksa. He gets knocked off the puck. Now the other way, Zaitsev. It's the red line and a heavy hit. Como.
He dumped it in and got obliterated.
Stretched ahead, hits behind the D, and it's turned aside by Gustafsson.
Man, he's been good at teasing with the 5-hole and then shutting it down quickly. What a pass.
What a sequence as the Stars trap it. Hits down low behind the net. Klingberg got it right through the crease and wide. Suter. And now it's Batherson up ahead for Tkachuk and into the Stars zone. He checks Hintz on the forecheck. Pavelski carries it back in. That puck came up and hit Mete. He stung a bit. The Stars trying to take advantage, offensive zone. Here's Klingberg, angles it, a shot, glove save by Gustafsson, who is just committing crime after crime on Roope Hintz tonight.
Man, what a body blast by Como on Zaitsev in the neutral zone. And then the long lead feed to Spring Hintz. Can't find daylight through the legs. Being hustled a bit, missed his spot. And actually got darted by that right pad, and then some sass on the glove grab by Gustafsson, who was brilliant for Sweden at the World Junior Championships one year, and he's been nothing short of that in his 2 starts against the Dallas Stars this season.
They're going to kick Ben out of the faceoff. Rick Bowness loads up Ben, Sagan, Radulov here. The defensemen are Lindell and Sekera.
Sagan essentially in Guryanov's spot.
Shot right off the draw, and it was bouncing a little bit. It went right to Ben, but he wasn't able to get what he wanted off of it.
No, there's times to settle it down, and there's times to rip it quick. And unfortunately for Jamie, that puck was rolling a little bit, fluttered its way in after a perfect face-off win by Sagan.
Ben back in the circle. The draw against Shaw. Wins this one cleanly. Lindell at the point. He'll bank it wide. Comes to the near side. Ben on it. Backhand was sniffed out by Shabbat, and he's able to lift it to center and trying to play hacky sack. Sekera uses the foot. Now poked by Sekera. He wipes out Connor Brown. Around it goes to Zub. They'll feather it back in deep. Lindell intercepts. Shot by Radulov. Zub keeps possession there for Ottawa. Nick Paul off his stick to the slot. Stars jump on it. Sagan pushes it ahead. Ben trying to catch up, and he could not win the race. Connor Brown icing. Fans' promotional nights are back and better than ever at American Airlines Center. From must-have giveaways to theme nights like Noche Mexicana and Pride, we've got an exciting lineup throughout the 21-22 season. Visit DallasStars.com/promotions.
March 22nd is the big one on that list, Josh.
I was going to point it out if you didn't. Did they make you model for that one, the bobblehead?
It'll be a reasonable facsimile.
Okay. Just picture you standing there shaking the head. There's a penalty upcoming. Hooking call against Ottawa. The pressure from the Stars leading to some chances. It led to a power play goal. They'll look for deja vu and more when we come back.
In the game with the Ottawa Senators, they're out hitting them 21-12. And it has been vicious at times and consistent as they drive some energy into the game and into this arena. Everything at home is amplified. And Blake Como and company have driven that into this game here tonight. They've earned a couple of power plays on their second one now.
Hooking on Holden. Stars 1 for 1. Same unit that got the goal is out there to begin this power play. Hintz to Klingberg. Wrist shot. Saved by Gustafsson, who tracked it through everything.
Especially Joe Pavelski right in front of him. Joe's so good. He does it in practice. He'll get his hands together on his stick so he can go either to the forehand side or the other and get a shaft on it. Gustafsson was able to peek around him and glove it.
That glove side is the setting for the draw. Hintz sneaks up to the elbow of that circle.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a one-timer option over there anyway. There's no point in having him way back there. If there's a loose puck, you're going to come up with it.
The lone man back is Klingberg at the right point, and Pavelski wins it on his backhand cleanly. Instead, it's fought for, trickles near the corner, and the Stars jump on it that way. Hintz to the far side. Will float it, dances the dasher board to the right wing. Now the Stars spread out. Robertson, high slot, goes low. Radulov behind the net. Fed in front. Robertson turned aside by Gustafsson.
Lightning.
Short-handed the other way. Shaw wanted to race in and lost the puck in front of the bench.
He has been dazzling. Dazzlingly tentacular in this one.
Back in Dallas. Robertson, pass intercepted. Paul, and a good defensive play by Pavelski to keep it away, and now the Stars can race with numbers. Radulov is in. Radulov weaves off the toe of the stick of Klingberg. And then picked up and cleared by Ottawa halfway through this power play.
It's a good thing that was a poor play by Formanton. Otherwise, he'd have been in hold free. Overskated that little loose puck next to Pavelski and company. I still can't get over that stop.
I know Stars fans don't want to hear it because of how this season has started, but the goaltending tonight by Gustafsson has just been remarkable on repeat, getting better as the night goes along somehow. Sagan tosses one in. Big bank to Gurianov. Different unit out there for the Stars. They'll wrap it around. Ben lets it go to Miro Heiskanen. And then a pass broken up Connor Brown.
That was telegraphed. He was waiting to pounce on that route.
Heiskanen's got one of the 4 Stars power play goals this season. Moves into Gurianov, now back to Heiskanen. Feeds it up high. Ryan Suter in front. Gurianov swept the backhand off target. Final seconds on the hold-in penalty. Tick off. A shot redirected wide, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Tyler Sagan in front. Heiskanen, a shot save made as it's spit back by Gustafsson.
Might have been his D-man Zub, the shot blocker, that got that one in front of him.
Suter to the long stretch. Cut off and goes right back to him at the Dallas line, and juggled in by Sagan. The Stars recollect. Como knifed off his stick by Shabbat. Raffle down into the corner. Hustled to protect. Inched up the boards. Norris able to clear as he took a shot.
That dangerous shift coming out of a power play for both sides. Try to get it reset late in the period. They barely got through that Stars power play.
Gustafsson, the primary reason why the shots have opened up in Dallas's favor as it's icing here against Ottawa.
This is Jason Robertson's second game of the season. He had a shoulder injury in training camp. Again, Alexander Radulov threads the needle out in front. And you can see the reaction, the body language on Robertson after. He elevates it in tight, and Gustafsson, it has been difficult to breach his defenses in the game. Waits, gets, I think, the skinny part of the goal stick above his blocker on it and keeps it out.
3-1 the score, favoring the Senators. Offensive zone draw here for Dallas in the closing 3 minutes of this middle frame. Each team on the board once in the second. The 2 goals for the Senators back in the first. Right now, the difference. Shabbat, pressured by hits. He could have a few in the hockey game as it's cleared.
Yeah, and you get the sense with Rope right now, obviously he's feeling it, and the pressure of having a 0 in the goal department. He gets 1, he's going to get 5.
Hintz drops it left circle off of Radulov's stick, muscling with Josh Brown. It's around for Holden, and then Radulov steals, flips it, cutting Sagan. Now Holden the other way, carries into the Dallas end. Plays to the corner, Tierney was on it. Ennis nearby as well, but there were 3 Stars. They win the numbers game, they win possession. chopped by Sagan. Stutzla. Now Tierney. Lost control, the Stars Sagan. He's under pressure, moves it to Klingberg. Open ice for him. Klingberg gallops in. Hand off Radulov. Radulov spins it for Klingberg. Ottawa's now back in position. They intercept. Stutzla for Paul. Former Stars draft pick. Went to Ottawa in the Jason Spezza deal all those years ago and lifted out to center. Shabbat. Connor Brown will chip. Race for it. Formenton and Hanley. They go hard into the end boards. Cancel one another out. Just over a minute to go in the period. Senators keep it in. Artem Zub flips it to Shabbat. Return feed Zub. Top of the zone. He'll lead for Connor Brown. Turns it back near the line. Poke check. Goes to Shabbat. He'll walk it to the slot. And a penalty coming, as it appeared like the Stars were just trying to be hard stick on stick, but Shabbat went down, and it's going to earn a trip to the penalty box for Dallas.
This started with the Senators able to get the puck in deep in behind the Stars. It's a very similar infraction to the one that Rope Hintz drew right next to their net earlier, and an aggressive play by a talented young defenseman in Shabbat puts them on the power play, and there will be no shock who will be on the ice to start it for them. That top line of Batherson, Norris, who's on hat-trick watch, and Brady Tkachuk up front.
Without question, this is the #1 unit for Ottawa. Meanwhile, Tierney leads everyone with 3 power play goals. Tripping the call against Kiviranta. Here's Shabbat spread out. One time, rip deflected wide. Most of the action in this period has been at the other end. Ottawa just has 2 shots on goal in the frame. They have scored on one of them. It's fought for along the near side boards. Just pinning it there. Glendening won't let the puck free. Spin out to Shabbat now. Walks it in, and a shot redirected. Found glass. Just 10 seconds left in the frame. The Stars clear, and that should just about do it. That's good penalty killing work for Glendening. The final seconds tick off. There is still work to do for Dallas, but they're going to like that second period a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they competed their fannies off in the middle frame. And it started at the beginning. They gave up a goal. They had to get their act back together. There was help with their power play, obviously, but they play another period like that, and if Gustafsson can relent a little, they'll get this game at least back to level.
5 periods of work against him, and that's a big if. The masked man is doing it again to the Stars. 20 minutes left here in Dallas. Norris has had a big night, but the Stars have some life as Joe Pavelski on the power play has them on the board. It's 3-1 Senators. Second intermission report is next.
Welcome into the second intermission report. The Stars hosting the Senators. The scores at the end of the second period, 3-1 in favor of Ottawa. Joe Pavelski getting the Stars on the board in the second period. 20 minutes left to play at the American Airlines Center. I'm Lauren Callender alongside Brian Ray and Brent Severin. Guys, Joe Pavelski scores on the power play. Huge energy shift in this building. It helped the intensity they were lacking in the first period.
Way better second period for the Dallas Stars. Sevy, the physicality really picked up. The hits are 24-12 right now favoring Dallas. Look, if Ottawa's going to have more speed than you, make them pay the price to find that open space on the ice. That's exactly what Dallas did, in my opinion, in period 2.
Yeah, how about those opportunities from Hintz? He had a couple clear breakaways, and of course Robertson had some shots there in that second period. So Stars are picking up. Hopefully they can carry it in the third.
Sevy mentioned it, big opportunities and some big hits. Brian, take us through tonight's highlights.
Well, the first period belonged to the Ottawa Senators, right? They picked up the first 2 goals of the game in that frame, and their power play continues to give the Dallas Stars some issues. This time it's Josh Norris, who's having a heck of a night himself. You see the loose puck in front. He buries it, Sevy. And old Brady Tkachuk laying anchor in front, causing some chaos as well.
Yeah, just like the other 2 goals that were scored on the power play in Ottawa. A lot of bodies in front. You can see they just funnel the puck towards the net, kicks out. there's a beautiful shot from in tight.
This line of Norris, Tkachuk, and Batherson has been a problem for the Stars in this one. That is just the start of it. 4th goal of the season for Norris, the first of his night, but now Brady Tkachuk. Stars with a tough turnover in their own zone, and Tkachuk makes them pay. High slot, quick wrister, bang. It's 2-zip Ottawa.
Yeah, real nice play by Ottawa to get that puck, first of all, in the corner. You see the pressure. 3 of them are swarming the corner. Gary on up, throws it away, and there's Tkachuk to bury it.
So Brady Tkachuk putting himself on the board for the first time this year. Remember, he missed the first couple of games of the season because of contract negotiations, but he looks like he is settled in for the Senators. Now you go to period 2, and this young line getting it done again. There's a lot of skill on this Ottawa team. They're a little inconsistent, but when they're on, they can make pretty plays like this. The touch pass from Batherson to Norris, and the quick wrister is in the back of the net.
Yeah, you see Tkachuk here. He's in on it. It's 1 against 3 or 2 against 3, and they come up with the puck, throwing it there. We see this a lot from the Ottawa Senators. This quick little bump pass to the middle, another goal.
So 2 goals on the night for Norris. He's got 5 on the year. Not that Andrei Sekera can do there on the touch pass back and forth. And all of a sudden, Ottawa's sitting pretty. They got the 3-0 lead with the Stars. They finally went to work. They earned themselves a power play chance. And Captain America, look at the one-time pass from Radulov on the tee for Joe Pavelski.
But also Captain Russia right there as well with the pass. Look at Radulov. Makes that huge pass across the ice, and yeah, Pavelski reads it nicely.
Philip Gustafsson has been locked in for the Ottawa Senators. The Stars finally found a chink in the armor with the power play strike from Pavelski. His 2nd of the season. Both of his goals this year have come against Ottawa. Hopefully he's got another one in his back pocket for the next period. But the Stars, they're in it right now, even though they're down 3-1.
All right, it's 3-1. They trail by 2 after 2. When we return, we look at game stats and check in with Stars ringside reporter Michelle McMahon coming up after the break. Welcome back to the second intermission report. The Dallas Stars trail the Ottawa Senators 3-1 at the American Airlines Center at the end of the second frame in Dallas. Let's take a look at game stats so far tonight. The Stars out shooting and out hitting the Senators. 24 shots on goal tonight compared to the Sens 17, but look at those hits numbers. Dallas Stars with 24 to the Senators 12, and each 1 for 2 on the power play. Big goal, intensity shifting goal there from Joe Pavelski. Let's go ahead and bring in Stars ringside reporter now, Michelle McMahon. Mish, what you got?
Lauren, you hit it right on the head. There was a shift in intensity, and it was noticeable from the ringside. I was behind the bench here for most of the first and second period. It was a visible shift in energy. First period, really flat, no communication. The guys were even lifeless after a couple of goals that Ottawa scored. Second period, a completely different story. The leadership crew really took over. I had a good conversation with the captain, Jamie Benn, this week about the work ethic and the passion that has been lacking with this group lately. And he said that's really unacceptable. Talent can only take you so far. So the messages were delivered in the locker room this week, and it was heard especially in that second period. John Klingberg also gave me a good bit this week, Lauren. He said, we need to work smarter than harder. It's really about that from his perspective in terms of work ethic and working smarter.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Guys, 20 minutes left to play here at the AAC. Final thoughts.
I'm keeping an eye out for Alexander Radulov. This lead doesn't feel safe for Ottawa, Sevy, but Dallas needs a greasy goal to try and spark a little more momentum.
Yeah, it's obviously they got to get the big kill right here.
All right, guys, we've got 20 minutes left to go here at the American Airlines Center. The Stars trail 3-1. There's still work to be done for Dallas, but we'll see you right here after the game for Stars Live postgame on Valley Sports Southwest.
Brought to you by Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant. Expansion now open. Stakes raised. By Baylor Scott and White Health. Changing healthcare for the better. And by Chevrolet. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
(3-1), the Stars trailing the Ottawa Senators. They have a little bit of time left to kill on the Senators' second power play, and then they'll look to do a lot of what they did in the second period, but try and solve Philip Gustafsson. As we send it down right now to Michelle McMahon.
Yeah, guys, time now for our Chevy Under the Hood. It's Jason Robertson today, the California native, doing great things on the ice tonight, and as he does every night. The Arcadia, California native grew up idolizing Ilya Kovalchuk, his favorite band, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And his favorite pastime, you'll never believe it. Video games, true millennial. I don't know, is he Generation X? Something like that. His favorite video game, I asked him, was FIFA. And he mostly plays by himself. No counterparts here on the team, guys.
You got a headset? You got to get him one. That's right. Still, I don't quite know if Gen X is it. He is a terrific young man with a heck of a future in this league.
He's had his opportunities in the game tonight. Understandably, there's a little rust on his overall game after missing the first couple of weeks of the regular season. This is just his second game. But that line, Hint's line, 10 shots in the game through 2 periods and 1 power play goal.
So first things first for Dallas as the puck is dropped here in the 3rd period. They've got a little over a minute left to kill on the penalty. Kiviranta for tripping. It's the carryover call from the 2nd. The Stars limited Ottawa to 0 shots in the final 12 minutes and 19 seconds of that 2nd period. Their last shot on goal was their last goal. Batherson will dump it around. It is Sekera in the corner and popped it free. Chance to clear, and Como does just that. The Stars' PK is 18 for 22 on the season, but they are 18 for 19 against everybody that's not the Ottawa Senators. Here is Zub to the left wing side. Shot by Zub, and that deflects. Now Sanford catches up. Just 5 seconds left on the man advantage. Zub moves it to Connor Brown. He'll step off the wall. Slow moving pass. Zub lets it rip. It deflects up high. Is that Tierney? Looks like he's holding his left hand as we're back to 5-on-5, and it's iced by Dallas.
It was a rocket that was high and rising. He's got a rough night here in Dallas. Rolling puck, can't control it. Went right off the hand, the left hand, and then up into the clavicle area. Great look from in behind Zub. See whether Tierney can shake that one off.
On the power play, he was in that dangerous spot. He's got 3 power play goals. That's never been a big part of his game. That's 7 in his entire career of more than 490 games entering this year.
Well, he had 1 if not for puck luck. You know, he was in the same spot. If that one had gone in, if it was still power play, it would have fit. That's basically how he got his power play tallies in Ottawa.
That's why they tell you to go to those hard areas. Sometimes it pays off. Icing here against Ottawa.
I don't think it's as hard against the opposition as it once was, but it's hard because of your own teammates who understand if I'm going to rifle it from distance, the goalie's going to butterfly a 91-mile-an-hour slap shot that luckily just grazed him and caught some equipment.
Ben Sagan Radulov out there for the offensive zone draw. It's the Senators, though, who control. Nick Paul will golf it out to center ice. Bounces on the red line. Lindell is on it. Formanton, good pressure on the forecheck, then leaves it on the end boards. Ben for Heiskanen. Jamie Benn with some open ice through center. 3 Senators are back. Ben holds up, then hands off. Left side, Lindell, a shot save. Gustafsson, rebound, pop free. Then to Heiskanen. Rister, that rattles around. Puck loose, and unable to stuff it from close range was Radulov. Looked like he had Gustafsson scrambling, and Radulov could just never get it off his stick.
That's the second time in the game that a defensive play by a Senator wiped out a sure Dallas goal. Earlier it was Zub on Tyler Seguin. That time it was the goal scorer Josh Norris right in front that swept it out of there.
Here's Raffl back in for the Stars. Slices behind the net on his forehand. Flips it up high to the line. Sekera, wrist shot up high, finds the glass. A battle for it in the Stars box up. Banks it for Como. Keeps it in. Fanned on a pass down low, though. And the other way. Here comes Stützle. Drops it Connor Brown. And then for Mete. Backdoor score! Connor Brown! Ottawa on the counterpunch restores their 3-goal lead.
It was a hard, heavy hit by Sekera on the boards, and then I don't know what Radek Faksa was doing. He was right there with Brown, and he got puck watching, looks away, puck comes across. Mete, the defenseman, returns it to him, and Faksa did not eliminate the stick. It's on the back door, and it's a dunk for Brown to make it a 3-goal hill once again for the Stars to climb. Poor Andre Sekera's having one of those nights. He's been on the ice for 3 goals against and in the box for the other one.
Brown picks up his first goal of the season. All 4 of his points prior to that had come via assist. 3 of them at the expense of the Stars in the meeting 2 weeks ago up in Ottawa. Offside as the Stars touch it, and again Dallas pushing and pushing, and then they just get counterpunched, and it's right back to the largest deficit they've faced.
It's the ease at which some of these goals against, not just here tonight, but in the first 8 games now, have been scored. I mean, they get out of sorts, they miss assignments, they don't get under sticks and win the battle right at the net, and the other side is tacking on tallies because of it. What a weird way to exist, because they've got so much good going on within the game, and yet they're down 4-1 on home ice.
Shabbat gets hit, rims it around, and race forward. Suter just inside the Stars line. And with the way the tempo had been going, you look up at the clock, you see 17 minutes left, a deficit of 2. It felt attainable. That one feels very, very different as it's in on Holtby, and he hangs on. Fans, you can sign up your child today to be a member of Big's Kids, the official kids club of the Dallas Stars. Every member receives a free kids ticket, exclusive Stars swag, and more, all for just $25. Sign up at dallasstars.com/kids club.
Well, yeah, because I mean, now you're asking a team that hasn't scored 4 goals yet this season to score at least 4 to get something out of this game tonight.
Face-off win, Senators. Batherson shot. Holtby looked behind him, and all of a sudden turned into a mosh pit in the blue paint right next to him. He had it.
And you have to admire, especially this top line for them, their ability to change the point of attack in sync with one another. I mean, there's no thinking. It's just automatic. They did it on one of their goals. They did it again to generate this chance with Tkachuk unmarked in front of the net, and a nice tidy save by Braden Holtby.
Down in behind the net, Heiskanen will push it on the backhand. Stars mishandled, and then it's bounced in behind the net in the trapezoid. Batherson shoulder to shoulder with Lindell. Radek Faksa comes in to take possession. Dumped in from center ice. Bounces wide of the cage to the left corner.
And number 18, Tim Stützle. Time of the goal, 3-0.
Zaitsev. And Klingberg off the wall. Saved by Gustafsson, and he holds.
You know, you go back, lots of opportunities within a game to see a defensive play that allowed the offense at the other end, and it looked like Radulov was just going to rip a loose puck home, and collapsing down to help out defensively was Josh Norris, who has a couple of goals in the game here tonight. In the aftermath of that, they go down the other end, and boom, 4-1.
Offensive zone draw. Jamie Benn will step in with Tyler Seguin getting kicked out of it. That prompts shuffling on both sides of the circle. Nick Paul against Benn. And it's controlled by the Senators. Stützle. We got the secondary assist on the recent Brown tally. Victor Mete, the primary one. Stützle. Caught by Radulov. Young man pulls with it. Holds it in near the line. Now for Brown. Fed for Stützle out of his reach. Zub scoops it, keeps in the zone. Thomas Chabot. He gets knocked down. Ben gives him a little bit of a whack. And there's going to be a cross-checking penalty here. Jamie Benn will make the slow trek to the penalty box.
Almost the exact same spot where Andre Sekera got nailed back in the first period for the same infraction. They're looking for it this season. They told everybody heading into the year, and a year ago that's probably just heavy, hard defending. Instead, the captain's in the box, and the Stars have to survived this with 15 minutes to go in regulation to have any hope of knifing and forking their way into the 4-1 lead.
Third power play of the game for the Senators. They are 1 for 2 so far. Sent all the way down by Dallas. Stützle steps in, takes control. Feeds it to the left. Thomas Chabot has played just about 22 minutes of the game. He leads everybody in the league in that category. 27-25 is his average. He'll remain out there half a minute into this man advantage. Started for Stützle. Through center, across the Dallas line. Now Batherson for Chabot. He's a lone man high, moves it to Norris. 2 goals in the game. Kachuk in front, tried to stuff it home. It was off his stick. Bump back to Chabot. As the Senators spread out, Norris was looking for the hat trick on the one-timer, and it was blocked up and out of play.
I believe I'm correct with this. The last hat trick that an Ottawa Senator registered against the Stars was former Dallas Star Jason Spezza over a decade ago in 2010. And if you're wondering the other direction, the last Stars hat trick against Ottawa, it was Brett Hull. That should tell you how long ago it was. 2001.
The pandemic has thrown off my timing in a lot of ways, but I think I can still figure that one out.
It's been a high event hat trick start to the season around the NHL this year.
Sens contributing to that for and against in their last game. Batherson and TJ Oshie. Here is Sanford. He'll move it back to Zub. 40 seconds left on the power play for Ottawa. Connor Brown to Tierney, who's back out there after taking the puck on the last Sens man advantage. Shot by Brown, stopped, loose in front. Fought for in the trapezoid now. Tyler Ennis comes away with it. To Brown. Shot was blocked by Glendening, who went down and took away the window. Then Glendening bumps it ahead, and the Stars shorthanded. John Klingberg, a breakaway. Klingberg, and he's caught by Sanford. He stays with it. Glendening, redirection, saved, and then the rebound went wide. I don't know if Klingberg was just caught or didn't realize how close Sanford was.
Might have been both.
Ben is out of the box, so the Stars PK is through it. They nearly went up 1. But back-to-back kills, and now no time to waste. They still trail by 3. Formanton sent it right through the slot. Ben stretches it out for Sagan, darts in, low shot, save Gustafsson. Radulov off the glove of Ben, held in Heiskanen. A little shake on Formanton. The handoff, now Sagan fanned on a one-time bid.
The only reason he fanned, though, was that lash of the stick from Nick Paul that forced it off kilter and through his legs.
Josh Brown with Radulov nearby, bumped it free, and Josh Norris. And over to Zubin in deep as Esa Lindell toss it up ahead. Rope Hintz turned on the speed to negate icing. Bouncing puck, Robertson in the circle. Pavelski trying to keep it in right in front of the Ottawa bench. Terrific work down on one knee, but too much pressure by the Sens, got it out. Robertson re-enters. Hintz tracking with Mete. And then Hintz behind the net, Pavelski. Pavelski backhand feed for Klingberg. Swung to Suter. Wrist shot up high off the glass. Suter hustled to get to it first. Robertson lets it go and just off target wide left. Klingberg holding it in. Another shot. Save Gustafsson. And he will pounce on the puck a couple feet wide in the crease. 11:07 left in the third period. Klingberg short-handed trying to break in. A terrific play by Sanford.
Fortunate from Stars' perspective, they're down by 3 as we approach mid-third period at American Airlines Center because they played hard. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the only team in the league with a worse team shooting percentage than the Stars. And we're bearing witness to that here once again tonight. They have 30 shots on goal. Gustafsson has been magnificent in the pipes for the Senators. But we say that about every goaltender every night that faces the Stars. And they're stuck on one goal here on those 30 shots.
It hasn't necessarily been a murderer's row on paper of goaltenders that they face.
Exactly. I mean, this would be essentially the Senators' third-string goaltender.
But they have put together just phenomenal performances, and pretty objectively, some of the saves that we've seen him make tonight. But the longer this becomes a story, the bigger the story becomes as it's cleared all the way down and iced by Ottawa.
He's had a lot of help from his top young line in front of him. Ardell Technologies control this evening. The line of Norris, Tkachuk, and Batherson has dialed up most of the offense in the game. Couple of goals in the first 8 minutes of the game. Pavelski's answered on the power play for the Stars.
Klingberg, top of the circle, now in front. He partially fanned on it, got it to Pavelski. Sometimes those can work to a team's advantage if it just rattles around. You can get the puck on net. Dallas never could right there, and it's clear.
They've had really good sticks defensively in their own zone. I mean, they have them hyperactive.
John Klingberg in across the line. Pass Robertson. Speedy wrist shot go, just misfired. Off the bench, another snapshot by Sagan. Swiped off the stick of Robertson. Zub can skate it ahead and get it out to the Star zone. They nearly turn it over there. Connor Brown reaches, lost his balance, worked it over to Paul first. Back for Connor Brown. He's got Stützle. Stützle, pass in front. Paul, whack at it, could not get it towards the front of the net. And here comes Radulov racing the other way. Across the Sens line, Radulov fighting off traffic. A shot was blocked and goes wide. Heiskanen from the blue line. Faked a shot, moves it in front. Then Robertson got boxed out. Radulov hustled. Keeps it moving around the perimeter to Heiskanen. Only 9.5 minutes left. Lindell with a wrister got through traffic, and Gustafsson ate it up. 4-1, the Senators have the lead. Final meeting of the year between the two teams.
9:33 to go in regulation at American Airlines Center. Stars down 4-1 to the Ottawa Senators. This line has been loaded up for a while. Tyler Seguin was playing with Kiviranta and Luke Glendening, who game in and game out gives the Stars everything he has. But these are your offensive tip of the spear guys, and they need something right now.
Ben on the draw against Gambrell, and Ben throws his head back in disagreement after he gets kicked out of the faceoff circle. So Seguin tasked with winning one. He's got Heiskanen and Lindell behind him, and it's the Senators who control and clear it. So the Stars will have to re-enter. Ben takes it neutral. He'll walk across the line. Then Radulov gets it deep. Ben over to Seguin. Stopped with the boot. Then he's sandwiched by Holden along the end boards. Leaves it low for Ben. Touch for Radulov. He'll feed it to Lindell in front. Redirection. And a save by Gustafsson.
That has been a redundancy here tonight. There have been some high-quality opportunities for the Stars that he has just spit back at him.
The Stars got 34 shots on him 12 nights ago in Ottawa. With just about 9 minutes left in this one, they're one shy of that total. And he has been sterling regardless of where the game's been played. Stretched ahead, here's Formenton. He'll break in, a backhand. What a save by Holtby with the left leg.
You should understand he's not going to beat that left pad tonight. That's twice.
Any chance that the Stars had any thought of a comeback?
What a pass by Zub to spring him.
And it's off a glove and out of play.
Seen a couple of these in the game tonight. The long lead, home free, saucer through the middle. Right in the tape of Formenton, who can scoot. Pulled it to the backhand. He got stoned by Holtby back in the opening period. At that time, kept it to just 2-0 for the Sens. And again, he can't elevate. And if you don't elevate, you can't accumulate against today's netminders. Hope alive save by Holtby. who's been named one of the 3 stars of the game in 3 of his 4 complete games this season. They'll need more of a heroic charge offensively to hit the 3 stars tonight, as he has surrendered 4 on 23 shots thus far.
Pavelski with Robertson and Hintz. Stars win the faceoff. Heiskanen at the line. Handoff, Robertson. Shot low. Bounced over to Lindell. He tried to catch Gustafsson. Puck loose. Swept off the top of the crease, and a chance. Trickled behind Gustafsson. Stayed out. The Stars still have it, with Gustafsson scrambling. Right circle, a shot blocked in front of the Sens netminder, but not cleared yet, and now it is.
Chabot, who stood there like a netminder to save a goal. Prior to that, it was just enough of Philip Gustafsson gets across. Stars kept re-racking and repurposing the puck. Had him diving and sprawling about. Oh, so close to finding the net in behind him, making this a 2-shot hockey game.
The Benn line back out there again. Clean face-off win to Suter. Swung it over to Klingberg. Shot blocked. That crumbles Tkachuk. He'll get up limping and find his way to the bench.
How about those 2 blocks? Chabot earlier, and then that one just inside the blue line by Tkachuk.
2 guys who are thought to be pretty much the core of the future of this team for the Senators, as it's sent in and whistled down.
7.5 minutes to go in regulation. Let's slide our Ford leaderboard in here tonight. Why not talk about block shots after those 2 for the Senators? Just the Islanders and the Vegas Golden Knights averaging more shot blocks per game than Dallas and Ottawa.
Let's go to work on the forecheck. Josh Brown got there. Couple guys in blackout sweaters to his left and right. Now Benn. Win it along the corner boards. Sagan as well. Benn scoops it up. His pass intended for Klingberg. Stützle got a stick in the way. Stars regather. Benn. Radulov. Klingberg left circle. Tried to go far side. Kicked out. Back in on the netminder Gustafsson. Loitering dangerously Sagan, but Gustafsson was able to corral for the whistle.
You get the sense that Rick Bowness has cloned Benn, Sagan, and Radulov here in the 3rd period, because they're going to leave the ice here now. But man, they have been on. They've forced the Senators to their back foot. They've caused Gustafsson to be sensational in the pipes, and they go back shaking their heads, thinking they should have got something out of that.
Tight Sam for the Sens, around and out. Sanford taken off his stick by Robertson. Will toss it across for Heiskanen. Heiskanen stretch for Hintz, and he couldn't settle the puck down. Had he been able to, he had half a step to break in cleanly again, and it's deflected up and out of play.
You know, Miro's doing his thing again here tonight. Hasn't shot the puck as much in the game tonight, but he's such a wonderful, bright-eyed playmaker too in full flight. And it was almost fin to fin and in behind. He's on pace for about 260 shots on goal this season. His high was 182 his rookie year.
Shot by Heiskanen, redirected in the slot. It's not clear. Pavelski down with Hintz. Hintz will spin it from the left wall to the right side. Cut off behind the net, Tierney. Heiskanen activates left wing side. Robertson, rim it around. And Lindell jumped around a Formanton, but then lost possession. 2-on-2. It's Tierney with a shot deflected wide of the cage.
Good thing, Braden Holtby had lost that in the traffic in front of him.
Clock very much a factor. Down under 6 minutes to go now. It is 4-1 Ottawa.
Sens have had all kinds of success here in Dallas through recent years. It's a bizarre trend for a team that's rebuilding.
Gurianov is ridden off by Chabot. Now Now Glendening back into the corner. Josh Norris bumps it to Tkachuk and cleared to center. Since the first period ended, the shots in the game are 22-8 Dallas. Meanwhile, the goals are 2-1 Ottawa. Just a head-scratching microcosm of what we have seen early on in this season. Tyler Seguin will pick it up. He'll move it over to Klingberg. Now Ben, back to Klingberg, has a cutter. Drop back for Radulov. Stars never get the shot away. And it's Brown. Forced Jamie Benn all the way back to his own zone, and the speed of Stützle is going to get there first. That's a good play by Ottawa's forward. Stars get it back. Ben across the line. Radulov got it to Seguin in front. They were looking to tip for Ben, and it just eluded the Stars captain. Radulov. He gets hit, stapled by Paul. Klingberg is down low, trying to extend possession for the Stars. Instead, it's the Senators. The other way. Connor Brown, right circle, off the blocker of Holtby. Now Robertson. Pavelski feeding Robertson. Pulls up, then Pavelski, a shot up high and off target, will rattle its way back to the Star zone.
It's one of those delayed, puck stops up for a second and then Pavelski comes in behind. Grade A opportunity. Again, they get window, not net.
Dumped in by Dallas. Hintz shrugs off the Senator, catches up, and then Pavelski throws a check, keeps the puck in the zone. Esa Lindell stepping past Shaw. Lindell to the left wing circle now. Robertson opens up for him, bottom of the dot, in front, and smothered by Gustafsson in the crease, leaving only 3:36 left in regulation and a 3-goal deficit for Dallas.
Well, the young Sens have been drinking from the fire hose a little bit as this thing has moved along. But they built a lead. Our Baylor Scott White Health game diagnosis taking back through the contest here tonight. They built a 2-0 lead in the opening 8 minutes of the game. Opened it on the power play. Josh Norris right in front of the net to make it 1-0, and then about 2 minutes after that, Tkachuk in the high slot from a gift turnover by the Stars in their own zone. Hintz had his opportunities in the middle French. Stars came out charging, and Gustafsson had an answer for everything over and over, and him in particular. Stars were banging too, drove some energy into the building. They just looked like a different team, looked like they were poised to take over the game, but boom, second of the game for Norris after a forecheck by that top line for Ottawa, and it's a 3-0 hockey game. Stars did get on the board on the power play. Sweet pass by Radulov to Joe Pavelski to make it a 3-1 game at the end of the second period. Early in the third, though, talk about your ouch play. The Stars can't keep a puck in. On the rush to the net, backdoor, Stars with iffy coverage on it, and it's a 3-shot hockey game once again, and it's remained that way because of the sheer brilliance from netminder Philip Gustafsson throughout the contest tonight, but in particular in this third period as the Stars have charged to try to make it a hockey game once again. You can't state enough how good he's been in the game, because this is not as simplistic as what he went through in Ottawa against the Stars. This is the best Dallas Stars offensive players getting the bulk of the shots against them, and a lot of stuff around, in and out and all around, and he's had an answer for all but one. And the Sens, for whatever reason, have had the Stars' number through the years lately. Almost an 80% of the time, every time, points percentage and win percentage.
Coming out of the lengthy stoppage, 3.5 minutes to go. Rick Bowness pulls his netminder. 6-on-5 here for Dallas. It is Suter. Goes low for Ben. Behind the net. The Stars set up. They need 3. Ben. Centering feed, ramped off the stick. Back out to center, and the Stars have to regroup.
Another one of those Senators sticks that You know, they've held fairly tight in their own zone despite giving up a boatload of chances and shots in the game.
In the corner now, Radulov, as the Stars are back in. But a giveaway behind the net. Zaitsev will hold up, fire it off the body of Sagan. So the puck stays in the zone. Down on a knee, Radulov stick handles from there. Ben joins him on the far wing. Bounces near the line and then past the point men to neutral ice. So the Stars have to touch back up. Chip in from center again, it's Sagan. Hustling after it, Radulov. Josh Brown sends it around off the stick of Klingberg. Suter. Stars were trying to make a change, partial one in front of their bench, and turned into a near giveaway. Here's Gurianov, a little chip to the corner. Kiviranta hustling after it. Gurianov down there as well. Nick Paul off a body to the circle, still in the Ottawa zone, now cleared all the way down, and it's going to slow up to negate icing.
Yeah, chewed up ice, and it was oscillating along the boards.
So the clock keeps moving, so does the play. Stars dump in one more time. Mete around the wall, but not out. Jason Robertson. Far wing. Angled it across for Lindell. A shot goes wide. Bounce to the right corner. Robertson hustling. Now Formanton catching up, and from his own blue line, he will send it down. This one will be icing against the Senators, but only 106 seconds remain.
It was great puck pursuit by Denis Gurianov. Get in on Mete originally, and it looked as though the Stars were going to be able to organize themselves and set something up. Instead, I think they're going to pause here and take a timeout. It's just a flabbergasting run of unvarnished offense that they are enduring right now, and great goaltending. 2 nights in a row in this building. Brossoit the other night was fabulous, and tonight Philip Gustafsson has been theatrical at times and tight, tough to beat. Had some help on a couple of wide open nets in front of him, and on 38 Star shots, he's only been solved once.
It's going to be tough for him to better the performance we saw a couple weeks ago, and he's done it in spades. From the timeout, half dozen guys in black break for the offensive zone draw. Pavelski on it, wins it. Robertson controls. Klingberg over to Robertson. They walk the line, just keep it in, but then Klingberg's pressured. It's cleared out. Connor Brown will chip. Heiskanen has it. He's got to seek shelter behind his own net. Under a minute and a half to go. Miro Heiskanen through center, hits the red line, fires it in off the high glass. Now Robertson. Fight for possession along the left wing. Out to Heiskanen. He's got Robertson. Stick got caught up in his skates, tripped him up inadvertently. Cleared by the Sens. This will be icing. The whistle comes, just 1:04 to go.
It just feels like the wheel's spinning still, and yes, hope is alive, but you're in miracle territory here now in the final minute, and needing 3 against a guy who has not blanked much in the game in the pipes for Ottawa. If it continues this way for the duration, the Senators are going to say they refound their defensive game. I don't know that they fully did, but they can say it if they only surrender 1 or 2 in the game.
Heiskanen over to Pavelski. Final minute of regulation. Pavelski rink wide, and then Radulov sent it right back through the low slot. Stars hold it in. Tapped between the circles. Bouncing puck now. Controlled by Radulov. Ben. Near wing Pavelski. Heiskanen over to Klingberg. Still a 6-on-5. It's been this way for about 3 minutes.
Got to shoot at some point, though. You're down by 3.
There's a shot, but not on target. Back up high, Klingberg. Over to Radulov. In. Shoots. Save made by Gustafsson. 39th he's faced in the game. Formanton will bring it out. In between the benches. Fought for. Comes free. Ropehins diving. Can't get it in. Pavelski from one blue line to the other. Ben. Final 10 seconds. Radulov a shot. Deflected out of play.
That time Josh Brown stick in there. I mean, you know, there's a fine line between urgency and desperation, and unfortunately when you're down and struggling to score goals, it's more desperation than urgency, and that's never a really good thing. You can see a lot of try, you can see them trying to play fast, you can see them whipping pucks toward the net, but it's not glazed for them right now, and it's looking like another sad ending on home ice.
And you can see the frustration, understandably so, for the Stars on the bench right off the draw. Another shot by Gurianov is blocked. The final horn sounds, and Philip Gustafsson with a tremendous 38 save performance, aided by that top line of Ottawa, and it's the Senators who sweep the season series with a 4-1 win.
Yeah, I mean, when the game was a game, they played extremely well and cashed in. That top line was everything advertised for them, did most of the work scoring-wise in the game. But, I mean, Stars could have won this game 8-4 with the chances they created within the game. Gustafsson was marvelous. They said that they were playing a hunch in starting him here tonight. Well, the hunch paid off.
The Stars took 73 shots on Philip Gustafsson over a 2-week span. He stopped 70 of them. 4-1 the final. Senators get the victory. For Daryl Ray, Michelle McMahon, our entire crew, I'm Josh Bogerot. Stick around. The postgame show is coming up next.